Hello, I'm Severin White, the Head of Investor Relations for DigitalBridge. Welcome to our inaugural Investor Day as a public company and under our new ticker, DBRG. We've unveiled our new name to reflect the significant business transformation we've undertaken over the past couple of years. It's a name that draws from our heritage as early innovators in digital infrastructure that also looks forward as we shape and build a fully digital, interconnected future. We're thrilled that you've joined us to learn more about our company, its unique business strategy, and the powerful thematics and large market opportunities we're leveraged to across the digital infrastructure landscape. And most importantly, hear from some of the amazing people across our organization. In fact, if there's one takeaway, one thing we want you to understand about DigitalBridge is that this is the broadest, deepest team in the world focused singularly on investing in, building, and operating digital infrastructure assets and businesses. You'll meet many of these leaders today as we advance through the agenda and in the future as we're able to get back to connecting in person. Let's start off by running through our agenda quickly, and then I'll hand it off to Marc Ganzi, our President and CEO. We're going to break today down into 5 sections: an introduction to our business led by Marc, a case study section that will give you some insight into our background investing successfully across 3 major thematics, meeting some of our key executives and CEOs. A business and financial overview led by Jackie Wu, our CFO, updating our medium-term guidance. A buy versus build analysis that will give you a sense for where and how we're investing in opportunities today. And finally, some perspective from our digital board members, accomplished executives who are helping us shape and advance our customer-led investment focus. So we've got a lot to cover, and we're going to be efficient with your time today. So sit back, enjoy, and without further ado, I'll turn the mic over to Marc Ganzi, our President and CEO. Marc?
Thanks, Sev. Hi, I'm Marc Ganzi, President and CEO of DigitalBridge. Thank you for joining us today. This is a great day for DigitalBridge. That's because we get to unveil not just a new name, but to introduce you to what we think is the most exciting, fastest growing digital infrastructure REIT globally. It's the latest phase of a vision that dates back to 2013, when we established a new platform built on 2 decades of operating experience and a deep network of industry relationships. This was a vision shaped by an early perspective around the emergence and the belief that digital infrastructure would emerge as its own asset class. Taking our experience of scaling businesses in the tower sector and extending it to data centers, fiber, and small cells. We did that committing our own capital and in partnership with investors that shared our vision. The next stage, DigitalBridge 2.0, formerly known as Digital Colony, was about taking that operating platform and those relationships and building an institutional capital formation capability alongside of it. A capacity that would allow capital to flow efficiently, financing a new era in connectivity on a global basis. This created an enterprise-grade business by aligning human capital, our creativity, with our back office systems, workflows, processes, and the structure necessary for the company to fulfill its true potential. That brings us to today, DigitalBridge 3.0, a unique digital REIT with the operating DNA and access to institutional capital that positions us to execute globally on converging the digital infrastructure ecosystem. We'll show you how we've accomplished that and how we'll continue to execute against that vision. First, let's take a step back and understand this window of opportunity and why now.
Digital infrastructure is the backbone of connectivity. How we communicate, how we share information, how we consume content, and how we work is driving opportunities in 5G infrastructure, fiber networks, hyperscale, and edge computing. The pace of technological change was already moving quickly when we were faced with a global pandemic in early 2020. Overnight, the need to keep people connected took center stage, and network infrastructure was more important than ever before. Now, as we look ahead, we can't let up. New advancements in 5G, edge computing, artificial intelligence, machine-to-machine communications, and Internet of Things are already here. The game has changed. Future networks will support operations leveraging virtualized cores that function across a web of macro cell towers, small cells, fiber networks, data centers, and edge computing facilities, all working together in secure and reliable environments, orchestrated to maximize speed and minimize latency. That's why at DigitalBridge, we are laser-focused on investment opportunities in these key areas. A team with over 2 decades of experience leading one of the world's largest digital infrastructure investment firms, leveraging our deep operational expertise. We know how to serve the growing needs of our customers globally. Our greatest competition is our own capacity to see, shape, and serve the needs of a fully digital, interconnected future. This is our story to tell. The time to invest in the infrastructure of tomorrow is today. We are investors. We are operators. We are builders. We are DigitalBridge.
As you can see, we're exposed to some of the most powerful secular trends driving innovation on a global basis today. These are not multi-year cycles. These are multi-decade cycles. The transition to a mobile society, to ubiquitous connectivity as part of our daily lives, whether it's at work or at home. It's not just the powerful digital infrastructure thematic. There are other secular trends underpinning our strong growth into the future. In particular, persistently low global interest rates are driving investor interest in the types of assets that we have owned and operated for decades. Assets with long duration, investment-grade customers, long-term contracted cash flows that generate stabilized and predictable yields. We'll talk more about these tailwinds and some of the growth inherent in them as we get into the detail of some of our case studies today. These are big markets. You'll also get some perspective on the breadth and depth of our management team. I've been investing in digital infrastructure for over 27 years. One of the things that I've been most conscientious about my entire career is not just building businesses, but building great management teams. People talk about the digital ecosystem, but for me, it's really about our management team and that management team's ability to see the ecosystem that sets us apart. These are the leaders that help us invest, build, and operate our businesses on a global basis. What's so special about that? Well, it's very simple. It's being reliable and it's being a trusted set of hands. 99.99% uptime, the 5 nines as we call it in the industry. These are reliability standards that our management teams are expected to meet every day. When Texas was hit by an ice storm that took down electricity grids across the state earlier this year, DataBank's data centers delivered. You'll get to meet Raul Martinek, the CEO there, today. This is active infrastructure. It's on 24/7, and our customers rely on us to serve their mission-critical needs. At the end of the day, it's our people that make this happen. It's more important than ever. Why? Changing network architectures, like new technologies enabling AI, IoT, and edge computing, require more converged digital infrastructure today. This is changing the supply-demand characteristics across our entire sector. I'm not talking about data center pricing last quarter or tower lease-up over the next year. I'm talking about the investment necessary over the next decade plus to create networks that are capable of handling exponential growth of increasingly valuable data. A flexible, agile approach to deploying capital is truly a differentiated strategy. This allows us to build a portfolio anchored by stable assets like towers in developed markets, but with exposure to new and emerging opportunities like small cells and edge data centers on a global basis. This is a constellation of businesses levered to the future of a data-driven economy. That's extremely unique. That's what sets DigitalBridge apart. We are a digital REIT levered to large growing markets benefiting from these secular tailwinds. We have a best-in-class management team and a differentiated strategy built around next-generation networks. It's a business with real assets, steady and predictable cash flows, and attractive returns on capital. centered around a business model with two strategic pillars. First, digital operating. Second, our digital investment management platform. Two building blocks served by central, efficiently run core, singularly focused on compounding value for you, our investors. This is what we're building. This is DigitalBridge 3.0. We're an established player, but we're challenging the status quo inside the traditional digital REIT ecosystem. We're a trusted financial partner, but with a strong entrepreneurial spirit. We're a business that's focused on compounding value for our investors, but we're committed to making an impact in the markets and communities we serve. We're exposed to some of the best growing markets around the globe today. But what's critical to this is these markets have also proven to be extremely resilient through good times and bad. We're thought leaders and we're business builders. I want to thank you for joining us today and your interest in learning more about our company. With that, I'll hand it over to Severin to introduce our thematic presentations.
Thanks, Mark. Now we're going to turn to a case study section covering three powerful thematics that we're leveraged to: 5G, digital transformation, and next-gen edge networks. These are all benefiting from strong secular tailwinds centered around connectivity and mobility. Some of our executives and partners will join us to talk about the large growing markets each of those represent, how we've executed on those opportunities in the past, and finally, cover some of the new investments that we're making today to continue to successfully capitalize on these trends. You'll see the DigitalBridge Value Add Playbook in action and hear firsthand how our operating DNA is helping to build the digital infrastructure businesses of the future. We'll start with 5G, and I'll turn it over to Ben Jenkins, our CIO, and Steven Sonnenstein, one of our senior managing directors.